looking back to those who lived in fear. There was nothing I could do. There was nothing you said that could make me realize how much lucky I was. Just out of reach of this fire, was not aware of this nightmare. But when I stopped to see those eyes begging for help, begging for hope, just need to open my eyes now to try to change them to sunshine, to be someone among others.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, good evening, race fans, and welcome. Man, we're at the big track here at Texas Motor Speedway, and they always say everything's big in Texas. We've got some big speed, big pack here tonight, and a big track here too. So Texas Motor Speedway, you know, this is the new repave here, Jeff. So I don't know what to expect out of this one.
Yeah, new repave, but it's a fun place. You can carry a lot of speed around this track, and in the trucks, typically you're wide open through 3 and 4. So I'm excited to see this race here. I think there's going to be a lot of passes, a lot of changes made all around the track. And now with this repave, this track becomes one of our favorite kinds. It's all about momentum.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I haven't really said that word in a while because, you know, the tracks we've been on, but you're right, a lot of momentum here. Probably going to be a little bit of pack-style racing, but what I saw in practice and qualifying, these guys were having a hard time keeping these things planted to the ground. Want to see what Tommy Ryan is doing up front, though. He's got Justin Fuller, who has been hot so far here in the chase, because we're in round 2, but race 2 of the chase here tonight, and Daniel Falkenham already advanced to the next round of 6. So he's locked in there. Let's see what other chase driver gets locked in tonight.
Well, yeah, if a driver brings home a win, they'll be locked in, but it could be a non-chase driver as well. It's Kevin Brown. Look at him fighting on the bottom there with the 23 truck. That's Josh Parker. Josh is really pushing the issue down here now. Kevin Brown and Josh and Tommy Ryan, all battling there for second place. Those are all non-chase drivers.
Hey, absolutely.
Is one. Trey Edson, Chad Coleman, Ryan Howard are all chase drivers, but that battle for second there, that three-way sort of battle going on, all non-chase drivers, but
ooh,
let's see who was wrapped
Brandon
up.
Webb.
Jerky Katina and Brandon Webb.
Yeah, let's go back on the replay here. Let the viewers see what happened. You know, again, him and Joey Katina were side by side.
Just came together.
And he's down there on the apron a little bit. That skull machine. Like Daniel Falkenham's right there behind him. Oh, yeah, there's got contact between them in the tri-oval. And then hard in the wall. And then the skull truck just got sent up in the air.
Sometimes that happens. Honestly, you just are running next to someone and you just come together. The tiniest touch here can send these trucks around.
And as loose as I've seen them here a little bit in the so far in the going, obviously it definitely could happen. But man up front right now, Justin Fuller. So really got to doing a while. Not too this time either. Well, you can find Justin Fuller, but I don't even see him in the disc. Okay. I get all these guys in here so we could talk to one of them. Usually haven't been on big enough tracks, you know, here lately.
I think right now, I think Brandon Webb might be out of this race. That's a lot of damage to that truck.
Oh yeah, he hit the wall hard, really hard there on that impact. So I'll be surprised if he's going to be able to get it back. Obviously, they don't run any fast fixes here. And again, I don't know with the new setup how everything is. I don't get all that information I used to get, you know, about the tires and the setup and everything. Because they changed everything over here to the Facebook, or excuse me, over here to the Discord side, and I don't see any setup for the trucks or whatnot. So, hey, if Nick or anybody out there is watching or listening, at Cohand or Silver, you know how many sets of tires they have tonight? I'm going to take a gander at the company. Probably going to be 3. Gander at 3. And tires could become an issue. You know, it depending on, you know, how the race goes.
Absolutely. Absolutely, because this place does chew through your tires. This track will definitely wear down your tires, so you have to be careful, you have to be smart. Move that wheel as little as possible to save the right front tire. That's the key to being fast on the long run here.
Yeah, and again, we talk about that word, we love using that momentum. You got to let the truck kind of drift on through the turns there. Even though a lot of these guys say they're probably wide open for most part. Now, I don't know how much wide open they're going to be. I know they talk about the race, next week? It was Auto Club, I believe it is. Or they said more or less that's a kind of a wide open style track here. It might not be after a while. Well, you might have to at least, crack that throttle. But as slick as we've seen it so far, I don't expect these guys to be on the throttle throughout the whole entire lap.
I think a little bit of throttle control is going to play going to have more of an impact, I should say, than I was anticipating. I thought these guys were going to be wide open pretty much until turns 3 and 4, but I think even through 1 and 2, they're going to have to lift a little bit and control the throttle to save the right front tire, as well as remaining control of this car, because it is slick out there.
Yeah, it is. Right now, Justin Fuller's man out front. Kevin Brown sitting in second. Tommy Ryan up third. Josh Parker there in 4. Trey Edson hangs on to the 5th place spot. Right now, she's top 5. In the caution the first time, and I think a lot of these guys are going to have to be very, very careful. At 32 trucks start. Right now, we've got 30 of them out here so far. Good field here for the Truck Series. Round 2 of the chase. This is race number 2 of it. Give you an idea. Bring up my little chart here. Daniel Falkenham obviously has advanced into the round of 6. That's going to leave Trey Edson, Justin Fuller, Brian Macklin, Ryan Howard, Nick Silver, Chad Coleman, and Dalton. Is that Tyler Dalton? Yeah, Tyler Dalton. That was his first name. Now, it is close between Coleman and Silver. There's only 1 point separating them. There's actually only 6 points separating Dalton to Silver. Right there, so for that cutoff line for the 8, but with Falkenham moving in, I think now you're going to have to jump up even 1 more spot. So Ryan Howard's the man sitting probably on the be Silver. My bad. Go Las Vegas. My bad. I think I said what did I say? Auto Club Las Vegas. They're about the same either way there, Jeff. The Auto Club Las Vegas, those 2 tracks kind of tend to run about the same. Well, I tell you, it's going to be close on this round of 8 of who makes it and who doesn't.
That it is going to be a very close battle to the championship, and I can tell you what, all of these drivers here are going to be going for every single point. There is nobody that leaves anything on the line in this series, and ask anyone, go back and look at any past race, nobody leaves anything on the track. They give everything they possibly can every second of the day. Justin Fuller pulling out to a strong lead already over Kevin Brown. I think Justin Fuller is hoping that Tommy Ryan, Kevin Brown, and Josh Parker will get back into a battle like was going on before, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're going to stay single file here because it's more fun to battle for the lead than to battle for second. More advantageous, and as I say that though, Josh Parker gets a run to the inside of Tommy Ryan. Now they're 2 wide for 4th, and Josh Parker gets the spot, and that puts Kevin Brown up on the outside. He's the odd man out.
Yeah, it is. Kevin Brown made a move to the outside. He had a momentum run right there on Justin Fuller for the moment. And Fuller, he's going for the win, so he can advance into the next round. Not have to worry about it next week here. But you see Josh Parker rumbling down on the inside. He's going to take on Kevin again. We just saw that momentum run right there.
Too much momentum. I think it's going to stay green here, though.
Yeah, they were able to hold on to it. Chad Coleman was able to get out of the way, but Josh Parker through the grass, going to lose a lot of spots. But he was able to hang on to that truck. That thing just snapped right out from under him.
Yeah, it really did. This will get very, very slick on corner exit, and that's just what we saw right there.
Go back and watch that one more time here, folks. I mean, no caution, but I'll tell you what, they were almost 2 whites, side by side, him and Kevin Brown. No contact right there was made, but you just saw that truck just instantly just caught the apron a little bit, upset the truck, threw it up. Luckily, not too much contact between him and Kevin Brown, but Josh Parker went down through pit road about 100-some mile an hour, was able to hold on to it. Unfortunately, though, that puts it back in a 22nd position. And I got a feeling it's going to be, as the green flag runs on this place here, the longer it runs, it's going to be very hard to pass and come through the field.
Absolutely. It's a very difficult place to make passes when everyone's on the same tires, let alone when everyone is everyone's on better tires than you are, because his are all messed up. Now, this is a call for race control to make on whether or not they will clear his black flag, because he did technically enter pit road unsafely. And right now, he's not actually speaking on the driver's channel. He's asking on the all teams channel, which I don't think race control can hear at the moment. So Chad Cole is going to relay that message to race control for him, but race control may say that he's not getting his black flag cleared. Oh, they did clear it, so he is now all good.
And in retrospect, obviously, like you just said, that's for race control to do, and I obviously don't get into it. In the NASCAR world, a lot of times they won't. They'll leave the black flag there. Even if you do, it has to be a pretty serious accident for you to have to come down pit road. But you've got to make an attempt to slow down coming on pit road. That's their catch to it, is you can't just haul the mail down through pit road. Keep going. You've got to make an attempt to slow down. And obviously, Josh Parker, from their point, we saw he just kept going speed-wise. But either way, no harm, no foul. We're in the virtual world here, and he got, like I said, black flag cleared. Got it going. Unfortunately, like we say, it's put him in a hole back in 23rd position that is going to be a tough one to make up.
It certainly is. It's going to be a very, very tough drive for him to get his way to the front of the field, because consider this as well. His front left is damaged. Not only are his tires now worn out because he slid sideways across the entire front stretch, but his left front is also damaged, and that will hurt the drive of the car. He's back there battling with Don Ronco Jr. Being side by side with another truck is not going to help his speed at all. He's in a bit of trouble back there, but Kevin Brown, he's in an even deeper hole. He's all the way back in 30th. He's the last car on the lead lap.
Yeah, unfortunately, Kevin Brown, he got mixed up in that a little bit, like I said, way back there in the back. But the battling going on up front here still. Mike Mottesi's hanging on there to the 7th place. Tommy Ryan takes over the lead over Justin Fuller. I just, they did a repave, obviously, in real life on Texas Motor Speedway about a year or so ago. iRacing was able to rescan it, get it out here. And from my thing, it looks, the surface on the virtual side just looks different than what I'm used to seeing. You can just see it kind of looks smoother.
I agree, and they made some actually changes to the track. I believe they widened it quite a bit, and they tried to add in more grooves to this racetrack, and it looks like it kind of sort of worked. Tommy Ryan's got a good handle on it, with Justin Fuller right on his back bumper, bump drafting down the front straightaway.
Yes, it is. Well, Justin Fuller don't want to give up that lead too much there. He would love to win this thing, lock himself into the next round, so he has to go down to Las Vegas next week, not really having to worry about it, because a lot of drivers, even though I'm going to say it's a good track, a lot of drivers are really worried about it because they say it tends to be like a mini plate style track where anything can happen. So right now, one of the top guys, but I'll tell you what, don't count out old EJ. And it looks like the draft definitely is playing a factor here at this place.
That will certainly make an impact here, and you really have to take care of the aerodynamics. You're so wide open. It's almost a plate track for these trucks. You are wide open for most of it, as the caution is now out.
That is Josh Parker. Wow. And this time, he's hit the wall. Let's go back and watch, and I got a feeling, well, we'll go back and watch here. I don't know if he got in contact with anybody or he just lost it again. He's on the inside there with Don Runkle. And there's...
shot to the back bumper from Don.
See here. I'm watching a replay here with a little bit behind. And just going into the turn, looks like, yeah, just a little contact. Next thing you know, it sent him into the wall hard. That's going to be it. That truck's smoking. That's done. Ouch. So, what? He avoided major disaster earlier, but that one there, just not so much. And, that takes us back to there. A lot of people might say, well, what in the world's wrong with Don? He just ran all over him. Sometimes guys have a little bit of, slow up a little bit in front of you, and reaction time has to come into play. But everybody on pit road, this will be interesting. who takes 4, who takes 2, who takes none. And pit stops will be where we will see the most guys coming through the field here. We've seen it play ever since iRacing implemented tire limits. It has changed the face of how these races turn out a lot and how the strategy is involved. And we've seen it interesting, but it looks like for the most part, most everybody's going to take 4 tires.
I would imagine so. We're close enough now in the race where you can take your first, because it's 3 sets, correct?
As far as I know, I'm gonna go with the 3 sets. That's how it's been pretty much. But actually, you know, there's several guys out there who did not pit. Actually, the top 9 drivers did not pit. But again, you did have like guys like Joey Woods, Joey Katina, who pitted on laps 6 and 4 when we had the other caution. And they came in and took tires. And obviously Joey Katina coming in because he got involved in the wreck there. Joey Woods coming in for fuel. Looks like Todd Kirkwood came in around that time. So Scott Simley, though, the first guy here who had a 7-second pit stop back in 9th, came in with the first set of pit stops here at lap 20. That's interesting. Tommy Ryan on back. Much everybody's 4 tires. There's a couple of them out there look like they took 2, but and again, this is what this tire limit has done all season. There comes Joey and Robert in now, and maybe some of the other top guys will come in this time. Maybe just want to get some bonus points or so forth. But what this tire limit has done, it has really shaken things up. You know, I have enjoyed it because it has brought about strategy that a lot of times we can sit here, especially in a virtual world and even in real life, you can sit and go, man, that guy's going to win the race because he's the fastest guy out there. He's just dominated, you know, and everything's, you know. But now everything has to go perfectly. The pit stop, the cycle pit stops, when he takes those tires, when he don't take those tires, not just the speed. I mean, you can still have the fast speed, and we've seen it. We've seen trucks this season, Jeff, be the fastest and dominate the race, but a wrong timely pit stop, and then the tires just give up on them, and somebody else makes another better pit stop later in the race, and they end up second, third, or fourth.
Yeah, pit strategy can make all the difference, whether it's you having a slower stop or a quicker stop than someone else, or, you know, changing the pit cycle entirely. Tyler Dalton here is not pitted at all whatsoever, so now he's going to be in a bit of trouble here with the other cars, but that will come back to help him later on.
It will, and I got a feeling in with Tommy Ryan, the 4-time, I mean, tires are going to be crucial here, and you'll see Tommy and him just come through the field like gangbusters. That's probably about the only way you're going to see somebody come through the field. But like you said, it should flip as it goes on. Maybe they got a feeling, you know, Tyler and those guys have probably got a feeling, okay, we're going to see some more cautions before this thing, you know, comes about, which the way the trucks have been handling and all could be. They kind of look a little ill handling out there right now. So we'll just have to see how well it does. Tommy's going to have to be careful, though, along with Justin Fuller. They don't want to get caught up in a mess.
Exactly. Now it's time for Tyler and Daniel out front here to just be patient and be smart. They are going to get past. Their tires are not nearly as good as anyone else. They fully understand that. They just have to be patient here, and now they have an extra set when everyone else is lacking one. This is going to play out well for them, I think.
Patience is a virtue. That's what we always say in the back. Daniel Falkenham's man's going to take over the top spot. Remember, he won last week, advanced himself in the round of 6 going into it. And remember, you know, folks, after tonight, we only got 5 races to go before the end of the season. We crown a champion here in the Kick-Ass Beef Jerky Truck Series here with the Sim500 for Texas. And hey, if you look down at the bottom too, you like beef jerky in general, check out old kickassbeefjerky.com. Those guys, you can get 19% off. Promo code Sim500 down there at the bottom. As the green flag flies, let's just see what Tommy and company can do with those new tires back there in the back.
Tyler Dalton, Daniel Falkingham, so far so good. They're hanging on to the lead.
Yeah, they are. I mean, because you can see Tommy right there. And again, here's my thing too, you know, Jeff. I say the 4 tires are an advantage. I have been fooled many a times because if you're so far back and you've got to pass so many trucks, sometimes that can be that won't benefit you, and it could benefit the leader. I mean, like right here, Daniel Falkenham be out front. Watch Tommy Ryan. Yeah, he's coming through the field, but it's taking him a little time. You talk about 10 laps to go in a race or something. He might could run out of time before he got to the leader, or those tires that he has kind of neutralize a little bit.
Looks like that might be the case here. And right now, though, Daniel Falkingham has the lead. Here comes Tommy Ryan going to the inside of Chad Cole and Doy Woods. And Justin Fuller, hot on his heels now, is going to be right behind him. Tommy Ryan, you'll see the advantage of the fresh tires, though. He will blow by Tyler Dalton, Daniel Falkingham like they're standing still.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you can see it there. He was able to get through the traffic, Tommy was, and was able to get up to there with no problems. And Justin Fuller right there on his back bumper. Now Justin said, okay, we're up front here. We're by ourselves. Now let me take over this lead because I want to lead this thing. I want to win it. Tommy understands, hey, look, you know, I missed a chase by mere few points. It wasn't much, missing the chase out there. Tommy would love to win it. They're 3 wide back there with Sean Casto and company.
Right, just because Tommy isn't in the chase right now doesn't mean E.J. O'Rourke up into Doy Woods overcorrects. Tyler Dalton involved. Chad Cole involved. A lot of cars wrapped up in that one.
Saw it right there a little bit. Wow, there's a huge one. Big pile up. Back on EJ here. It looked like EJ was going to be able to save it. He got up there. He was almost thinking about 3 wide. We were watching him there, and he was going up underneath Doy Woods. He got out of it, and it looks like the truck caught the apron, slid up the track a little bit. Actually, it was going up underneath Daniel Falkenham there, or Sean Castor, 3 wide, and it caught it. And when he did, it went up into Doy Woods. Looked like he had it caught, but then just overcorrected, and then just got sent end over end, and from there, it was a mess. Trucks everywhere. Now, unfortunately, E.J. O'Rourke eliminated last week in the playoffs. Kevin Brown eliminated last week playoffs. They probably were thinking, and you know, if we could have got to this, would have been all right. But in the round of 10, they were eliminated, not in the round of 8. So they were chase drivers there. Unfortunately, out of it here tonight.
That's really disappointing, and this is going to hurt Tyler Dalton here especially.
For Dalton, yeah, and Dalton, you know, back there 6 points out away from Chad Coleman right now in the round of 8 of the chase here. So he really needs a good finish here. Or obviously needs a win next week. But like what you just said, definitely in trouble. Back in 22nd. Got to look, though. Chad Coleman, though, right there in 20th. So, you know, those 2 trucks, both of them really outside looking in. But Ryan Howard is the other truck that we're looking at. And right now, Ryan Howard, he is up in 10th place spot. So, man, I'm going to tell you what, that last spot could come down to the wire next week.
I'm back. Discord survived. It's working again.
Yeah, I know. So Discord a little bit there was a little flaky here and there, but that's all right. Technology, you got to love it. Folks, appreciate everybody tuning in here tonight. Live here at OSR Network on YouTube, Facebook, and obviously for the Kick-Ass Beef Jerky Truck Series here for the Sim500. And we're at round 2 of the chase. Race number 2 here. We go next week. Last race of round 2 here. And after that, we will have the round of 6. And then 4 drivers will go to Phoenix. I am so used to saying Homestead, but this year it'll be Phoenix for the final 4, and then it's pretty much winner take all, or whoever finishes in front of whoever on that track.
Absolutely. And I think, yeah, Tyler Dalton, he's definitely in a lot of trouble. He's way back there in 23rd at the moment. A lot of rear end damage. That will certainly hurt this car. A lot of front end damage as well. Yeah, that truck's in trouble.
Chad Coleman sitting right there in 17th. Doesn't look too banged up or anything, just not having the night he wants. Again, Ryan Howard up in 7th now. He is on the cutoff right now. That round of going into 6th. He knows the importance of coming out here with at least a good finish with some good points to keep him up there. And other guy. Because, you know, we got Brian Macklin, Justin Fuller, and Trey Edson. So Macklin, Fuller, and Edson. And Brian Macklin, we really haven't talked about him. Brian Macklin's back in 30th spot. Tonight could be, you know, and really, that's what I'm saying. So I'm sitting here talking about Ryan Howard, you know, Tyler Dalton, and we're talking about Tyler Dalton, who was only 6 points away from Ryan. He's not that far off from Macklin. Could actually drop, and this could actually help Tyler going into next week. So if that truck's still running, you run it, you know.
Yeah, taking a look. Oh boy. Yeah, Tyler Dalton, or I'm sorry, Brian Macklin there in that wreck just had nowhere to go. The 41 of E.J. O'Rourke slid right down in front of him. Engine blew up, and Brian just immediately took it to the garage and was done. That truck was destroyed, and he knew it.
And Ryan Howard is only 4 points back from Brian Macklin. Nick Silver is... Wait a minute. Let me see how they do this. They've got Brian Macklin plus 6, Ryan Howard plus 4. So I'm thinking Macklin is 6 points ahead of Ryan Howard. He's 4 points ahead of Nick Silver, and there's 1 point between Coleman and Silver. And then Coleman has 6 points, I'm going to say, ahead of them. I guess that's how they're calculating that thing. I don't know how they're calculating it, but either way, it is close between Macklin, Howard, Silver, Coleman, and Dalton. And, you know, that's why, you know, Tyler Dalton just needs to pretty much, with Macklin having a bad night, it's really could be close for Brian Macklin missing around a 6 after next week.
Justin Fuller now out to lead over Sean Casto, but Sean holding on strong to second. He's got a strong contender for champion, though, behind him. That's Trey Edson sitting in 3rd. No matter where you go, Trey Edson is going to be running near the front. That is all but guaranteed. He is one of the best drivers on the service, let alone in this league. So he's got a really good shot at the championship here. Sean Casto will have his hands full trying to hold him off.
And he will. Obviously, you got Justin Fuller out there who's going to try to do everything he can to stay up front. Here comes Ryan Howard, though, rumbling to there. He says, look, you know, I know I'm right there in the back part of this thing, but a win definitely would change that. And he's able to bring that truck to the front. You got to be careful. What we've seen all night long is you get down on the apron. It might be the fastest way around this track right now, but it looks like it's also the dangerous part of the track. Mike Battesi's on the high side. You get Kevin Brown right there, and Kevin Brown would love to win this thing. Just to get a win before the season's up here. But Ryan Howard knows how important it is to get a good points night here. Sean Casto hanging on there to second place. Justin Fuller out front. Of course, we was just talking about Trey Edson. He's falling off the pace just a little bit. Maybe he's just being a little careful earlier on here.
It could also be he made a push up to the front and realized, okay, that's about how hard I have to push it. And now he's going back to saving tires, or he overdrove the tires. That's another possibility as well. He's falling all the way back to 10th, though. Battling back there with Jeff Ryan, Nick Silver, and Daniel Falkingham, Chad Coleman, who are trying to work their way back up here. Daniel Falkingham, Chad Coleman, they're going to have a bit of work to do, though. They are all the way back in 13th and 14th, respectively. They need to get all the way up front.
It is a very tricky style track to try to modulate around because you get so much push on the guy in front of you, run right up on the back end of it. And the problem is if you have to crack that throttle a little bit, again, we take it back to that momentum style, it can send you going backwards too. You've got to be able to put this truck down there down low, and again we've seen that apron step out and bite some people. You see these trucks kind of wobbling around a little bit. They look a little loose, a little bit more unstable than what they were last week. Obviously last week was in a road course, but week before that.
Yeah, a bit of a wobble here for these guys, and I think that's just an indication of how hard some of them are pushing it. Kevin Brown had to push very hard to get ahead of Justin Fuller, just like Justin Fuller was pushing his truck to stay in front. Sean Castro sitting solidly in third with Ryan Howard fourth. Tommy Ryan now running out the top five. Chad Cole got a little bit of damage in that last wreck, but looks like he's holding on okay. He's side by side with Mike Montesi, and behind them, Scott Simley, Thomas O'Leary are all battling. There's Trey Edson once again trying to work his way back up to the front. He's running the bottom. He's being patient. He is really stuck in that side-by-side battle, and I think he wants to get out of it.
Yeah, he made an aggressive move, 3 wide down at the bottom, and that thing shook up the track a little bit, almost got side by side there. Looks like with, I believe that was the 08 there, Thomas O'Leary. You can just see how unstable that truck is when they're down low, but boy, he is definitely rolling that thing to the front, bringing Daniel Falkingham along with him. Remember, Falkingham early on made a huge pit stop, so that caution actually helped Daniel Falkingham earlier pit stop wise, and now got him back on a different cycle. And here's the thing too, here's where you're going to see guys maybe coming through the field differently as opposed to other guys, because now we got guys who have pitted with 9 or newer style tires, and that's about the only way you'll see guys coming through the field. Is I tell you what, Kevin Brown's eating up Justin Fuller up front.
Yeah, you've got that right. Now they're sort of single file back here. Trey Edson's worked his way up to 7th, and he's the meat in this sandwich. Now they are just lined up front to back, though. He's stuck between Tommy Ryan and Chad Cole. Now he gets right up to the back bumper. Tommy Ryan, Daniel Falkingham takes advantage, gets underneath Chad Cole, and now there's a side-by-side battle for 8th. But this is what we were talking about earlier, where it's hard to make passes. Now that up front they're battling Justin Fuller and Kevin Brown, this could give an opportunity to Sean Castro, who gets a little bit tight there. Now he falls in line behind Justin Fuller, and he pushes Ryan Howard up the track. Here comes Tommy Ryan trying to make a run. He could get this inside lane for him.
Well, I tell you what, it's like this is what I love seeing right here. Non-chase drivers up here just all battling for the win. I've always been an advocate for that. Pretty much I hate it when the non-chase guys go, well, I don't want to mess up chase guys' nights. I don't want to get up here and push it. Hey, look, I'm trying to win the race just like he is. If I got a fast enough truck, I'm definitely going to run him hard, and he's going to have to earn everything he's got. I love what Kevin Brown, Sean Castro, Ryan, Tommy Ryan and the company up there are doing. They're not giving an inch, man, to Justin Fuller just because he's a chase driver. He's like, hey, look, I want to win this race, and they're door to door.
Right, it's not, the championship is not their concern at the moment. Their concern is winning this race for themselves. And Trey Edson now, his concern, though, is the championship. So he needs to follow right now Kevin Brown and try to work his way around Justin Fuller. Fuller up on the outside. That is not where you want to be. You want to be down low, as close to that white line as you can get while maintaining your speed. Right down where Trey Edson is, that's where Justin Fuller wants to be, but they are side by side for second.
And this is what Justin's like. He don't mind getting over there, probably battling around with Kevin Brown. The problem is Brown, like I said, he wants to win. Now he's got 2 other chase drivers up here. He's got Falkingham, which now again, Falkingham really doesn't have a lot to lose here either. He's already locked into the next round of the chase, but you got Fuller and Edson definitely want that. Do not want to get into a competition. You got, sitting back there, Sean Castro can't, make him out of here either. But you got Ryan Howard right there, another chase driver, kind of sitting on the bubble of things going, and I got a good enough truck here. But then you got Tommy Ryan out, not a chase driver. So I love this mix of competition up here in the front. All these guys right now are digging very hard. Very competitive track here tonight. I think it's going to come down to a pit stop strategy. If it goes green, and again, a yellow could, mess up everything.
Absolutely. And speaking of a hard battle up here now going on for second place, Daniel Falkingham's found his way around. Justin Fuller slips into third. Now he's side by side. He's got the inside for Trey Edson. Edson now clear. Not really, as Ryan Howard 6 is no in. 4 of the top 5 are in the chase, but the leader, Kevin Brown, is not. He does not care about the points battle. He doesn't care about the chase. He's out here to do one thing and one thing only, and that is win this race. Right now, he's got the lead. We're about halfway through. He's getting a little bit of help from the Justin Fuller there on his back bumper. And man, is he pushing that truck down the straightaway. And in the corners, passing the grass. Almost works, and he holds onto it there going into turn 1. What a move by Justin Fuller to hold onto that truck and maintain second place.
You know, and that right there just shows you Justin Fuller says, man, I'm going to try to win this race at all costs because Daniel Falkingham is right there. We saw that movement. He was pushing Kevin Brown around his track. Then went down on the inside, and I thought, oh, boy, very close to getting there and clipping him. Like you said, went to the grass. But Justin Fuller definitely showing his speed right now. But Kevin Brown is like, hey, look, you're going to have to get around me some other way. Now they're going to go side by side.
I don't think Justin Fuller is too happy with Kevin Brown. I think Fuller has a little bit more speed, a little more life in those tires, but Kevin Brown was doing his job. He has to maintain that lead and stay there on the bottom. Tensions run high when the playoffs are when the championship is in the picture right here, and Justin Fuller's trying to punch his ticket to the next round. I think he said enough's enough and worked his way around Kevin Brown. Now Trey Edson side by side with him. Trey Edson with a good run could get to the inside of Daniel Falkingham. Not going to get there though. Still side by side for third.
Yeah, it is. And you talk about tires, actually Daniel Falkingham and Kevin Brown pitted on lap 28 and 29 respectively, and Justin Fuller pitted on lap 20. So you see Falkingham taking it to the top side there, and Fuller's going, man, every time I get up front, I can't keep the front here. Here comes Trey Edson on his back bumper. We'll just have to see what it's got, and I tell you what, I get a little nervous every time I see him put that front bumper right there at that rear because it's just so close. It won't take much to tap him or send him around.
It doesn't take much to send one of these trucks around, and the tiniest touch will do it. And I think, well, yeah, it was maybe 20, 30 laps earlier that we saw that happen. The tiniest touch can send these trucks around. But take a look at this. Daniel Falkingham now to the lead. Trey Edson,
right there it is.
Off the front bumper goes Justin Fuller. Fuller was not clear, and he went down. Now he's on to pit road. He's got to maintain control of that truck.
And he did. But I'm going to tell you what, that was all on Fuller. I mean, let's go back and watch it one more time. But I'm going to tell you what, Kevin Brown was on his inside, and it looked like Justin Fuller just didn't, know in time and just kind of came down, and those two made contact. Unfortunately, but it was right there in the triover. Could have been disastrous. He was able to hang on to it just like Josh Parker earlier. The problem is now it puts him in a hole way far back. Watching the replay one more time. He's coming out of the trioval, and he just shot straight to the left. Maybe thought he was clear. Did do a little damage to the rear end a little bit. So watch to see if that affects him on in the race, but what's that old saying? Sometimes you live by the sword, you die by the sword. And, Justin Fuller, I've always said, he's got that one speed. That's wide open.
You're absolutely right. And now, keep a camera on these two. I do not think this battle is over. And I think two drivers that are very displeased with each other. I mentioned earlier that Justin had enough. And now they are right next to each other. Justin Fuller was not clear when he made that move. He was not clear. Came down across Kevin Brown. I think he was sort of expecting Brown to lift, and now they're side by side. I'm going to be keeping an eye here.
Yeah, I'm watching them right now. Yeah,
for position. Just be aware.
That's what I said. That's what I said. A lot of times I don't really call out a driver or anything on things. I usually say racing, but that one was where Justin Fuller was not clear when he came down. Maybe thought he was. A spotter probably told him he was. But it definitely wasn't clear, and all on Fuller on that one. Now he's going to go around, and yeah, they're still battling back here. It looks like some lap traffic, so he's going to pick the lap traffic and make it around him that time. And there's what I'm talking about, the wing. The wing might do it. Yep. Yeah, I think that wing that was all wing right there. I believe you see the damage on the back end. That truck just does not have the downforce. Nobody touched him. But also, that's going to hurt those tires after a while. He's going to have to come in. Now, with all this here, really, let's look at the yes, he could take a hit in the points tonight. But obviously, with Macklin out like he is, off the pace, Howard obviously doing a good run, and then, Tyler Dalton, Coleman down like they are, he could take a hit tonight because he's sitting third coming in behind Falkenham and Edson, and he was tied with Edson. Obviously they were plus 10 right there. So yes, he could take a hit, but he probably doesn't want to. I mean, he's back in 15th. He's not too far off the pace. He's still ahead of obviously Brian Macklin. Well, let's see, should be Trey Edson too. Tyler Dalton, yep, and he's right there with Chad Coleman. So again, this right here, I don't think it's going to really hurt him too bad, but it will make next week interesting.
It will. Next week is going to be very interesting. Now, Justin Fuller, Tyler Dalton, like we said, they're running a little bit further back, 14th, 15th. Up front, Daniel Falkingham leading Trey Edson, Chad Cole, Ryan Howard, and Tommy Ryan. Those three are all together. Joey Gattina's there a little bit further back. Then a little bit further back is Scott Simley. And then 2 more seconds back is Kevin Brown. And Kevin Brown has a lot of ground to make up. I think he's going to need a fresh set of tires. 40 laps left in this race for these guys, and going to be quite
it's been exciting so far with the racing. I'm surprised that we have not seen a big one here so far. I mean, we've seen a couple cautions, guys, but this track has been so slick, but it's been very racy up front with these guys. And Daniel Falkenham, remember, he won last week, and he locked himself in the next round, but that doesn't matter to him. If he could win 2 in a row and keep somebody else locked in for sure, he would love to, and definitely would love to keep Trey Edson behind him. But you know what I know, boy, as long as Trey's right there, he's probably going to keep on stalking him for a while. And Ryan Howard, I got to give a hats off to old Ryan Howard.
Yeah, he's having a great run. He's being very patient here, cruising around in 4th place. Doesn't need to do anything crazy. Just save these tires and hold on.
And you're right. I mean, yes, he would probably be like, man, yeah, I'd love to get up here and win this race. But he is sitting in 4th place right now. And with him being on that cut, I'm going to say the cutoff, obviously bonus points and all that stuff come into play, folks. So we aren't going to go off of what we see on the chart until we get official next week. So everything's unofficial. But with him sitting on that cutoff line for the round of 6, this right here with the run he's got, if he finished right now where he is, would be he's going to move up some positions, especially with Justin Fuller falling off like he did, and Brian Macklin having the night he's had, and then obviously Coleman and Dalton now having a very good night. And with him being up there like he is, it definitely would. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't move up a couple positions in the standings.
That's what you want. Get those crucial points, and because it can come down to, ask Tommy Ryan, it can come down to just 1 or 2 points, and every single point counts.
Yeah, I mean, and you bring that up because Tommy Ryan has been one of the fastest, consistent trucks and drivers in the chase of the non-chase drivers, that is. And, I know he's probably like, man, just that last race of the season, I had a bad race, and that's all it takes is one bad race, and it can knock you out of it, and that's what it was. And it was not that many points that took him out. You're right. So Ryan Howard sitting here going, hey, my championship hopes are still alive. Now, obviously, we still have one more race to go before we get into that round of 6, but a good finish here will make next week a lot more manageable. It won't be as, if he has another good, finish there, top 10 or whatnot. So that's what you got to think about. It makes it more manageable for you. See back here, Justin Fuller still hanging on to 14th. Tyler Dalton's right there behind him in 15th. And unfortunately, like I said, Brian Macklin, the other driver, out of the race here tonight. Josh Parker out, Brandon Webb out. Like E.J. O'Rourke is in pit road. Joey Woods on pit road. Jeff Strewsbury on pit road. Shane Ewing off the pace a lot. Campbell off the pace here a little bit. Stacy Renfro, how you say that?
Which driver?
Stacy Renfro. Number 7?
I would say so. I think that's correct.
Right. Chris Jabu, back there in 23rd. Thomas O'Leary, unfortunately, he went off track a little bit ago, but able to maintain it. Back to 22nd there. Mike Maltesi and company, he's hanging on. Robert Harley, pit road. Donald Runkle Jr. in 19th. Double O machine. So, a lot of great drivers here tonight. Guys, look old Guy L. Brooks. Got to give a shout out to him there. Good run for him up the 14th spot so far. He's just been clean and kept his nose out of trouble so far. Robert Gillenwater. Richard Swavely back there at about the 16th spot. So what we're seeing right now is you'll see a little battle here and there, but most everybody's kind of strung out, single file. That's kind of what we have seen. But we've got pit stops happening. A couple drivers coming on pit road. Think this is going to be their last pit stop here of the night?
Race stays green. This will be the last stop. But if there's a caution, you can bet that those drivers are going to be coming down. Possibly, yeah.
What are you doing? Are you in the next room?
Something wrong?
Sounds like you're way away from the mic. Sounds like you're yelling across the room. You went to the neighbor's house for a minute, right?
Yeah, I popped over. I need to borrow some sugar.
That's what it was.
Right, there we go.
Oh, man. Gotta have some fun up here, folks. I'll tell you what, it's a good one. And now's what I think what you was talking about earlier there, Jeff. The patience. You see the top 5 drivers all single file. You know, they were racing hard earlier in this race, and I think they all know what their trucks are capable of doing. They know what this track is capable of doing to them. And I feel like right now it's just kind of, let's settle down, ride here for a little bit, get through these pit stops, and then it's just going to be all out at the end.
You mean these guys haven't been going all out since the beginning? Is right now Trey Edson push for the lead?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, they were just going all out there at the beginning, and they've kind of settled down a little bit, like you was talking about. You know, maybe kind of settled down a little bit, and that's what it's been for the last several laps there. The 08 going through the grass, he just lost it there. Thomas O'Leary, Michael, he just lost it there. I mean, which has been a common occurrence all night long. It's been a very, very slick track. Guys have just kind of just, you know, for some reason, you know, I don't remember Texas not having this kind of grip. I know it can get a little bit slick going in. Usually it tightens up coming off, and for some reason these guys are having a little harder time coming through middle off of the turn. You're right. Right now you see Trey Edson taking the lead, and that's surprising. And the reason I say
pit road.
Yeah, well, Trey is it's surprising because I was about to say, and you know, he coming on pit road right there. Actually, he pitted on lap 20. Daniel Falkenham pitted on lap 28, and Chad Cole lap 28 and 20. It was 28, 29, and 28. So pretty much the top 4 drivers all pitted between 28 and 29, lap 28, 29. So that's about 89 lap difference. But surprised me that Trey Edson still had the speed to hold with those drivers up there. So I'm going to say early on, maybe tires are beneficial, but if you can hold them off for a 10, 15 laps or so, I think those tires kind of even out.
I think so as well. This is going to be interesting here. Coming around to the end, 25 laps to go. That is the perfect amount of time for these tires. I'd say you get back out there, maybe save for 5 to 10 laps, and then you have to go. It's time to get on the gas and make something happen.
Now, here's another thing. Chad Cole and Daniel Falkenham do not want to stay out too long, especially now that Trey Edson and them came on pit road, because you know and I know, as hard as it is to make up time, they're going to have enough time to run down the leader. And the longer they stay out here, and here comes Chad Cole, by the way. Oh, truck up in the wall. Obviously, a caution definitely would change all this theory that I'm about to say here. But Daniel Falkenham, Ryan Howard up there. And right now, Daniel Falkenham, he can gamble. Ryan, if I was him, I'm coming on pit road, like, next time. Because if I want to maintain where I'm at, I got to have enough time to do that. You just got to have, like you just said, there's only going to be, what, 20 laps left?
Yes, 25 right now.
Now, and Trey, just to give you an idea, lap time-wise, last lap he ran a 29.6 to a 31 on Ryan Howard, so you can see the big difference in tires. And again, see here also, Edson's sitting right now in. Trey Edson is a lap down. He will definitely get that lap back. That's what I'm saying. Ryan Howard, and never mind, Ryan Howard's on pit road. I was going to say he should come on pit road now. Now, Trey Edson's going to take and get his lap back. So he's going to come all the way around. This is a crucial pit stop here for Ryan, because he could come out right, and yellow flag's out. Oh,
this is big. This is bad.
Yeah, because I'm going to tell you what, it's big for Ryan Howard because he was on his pit stall. Because guess what? He's not really going to lose that many positions now. Still charting him in the 4th place spot. But Trey Edson did not come around and get in front of him, so I know Trey Edson wouldn't be able to go in front of him, would he? No?
I am not sure.
I don't think he could. He would have had to have passed him before the caution came out. Actually, I'm going to tell you what, if this works out, it's going to put Ryan Howard leading the race. Because it's got Gael, Chad Coleman, and Don Runkle top 3 right now. But they had yet to make a pit stop. They're definitely going to come on pit road. Once they do, and now they're going to give Trey Edson around Ryan Howard, which I don't understand how that works, because Trey Edson had yet to pass. He got back on the lead lap, but he hadn't come around to pass him. I don't know how that scoring loop works, you know? They're going to give it to him. How does that work?
I am but a lowly engineer.
I know there's probably an explanation out there, and probably one that, you know, because here was the scenario, folks, is basically Ryan Howard was coming on pit road. He was pretty much halfway down pit road. He went right into his pit stall. Obviously, Trey Edson's going to go by him and get back on the lead lap. But in order for him to pass him and take that position, he would have had to win right on back around the track one more time. The caution flies. They're giving it to Edson. So I don't know how that scoring loop works, but either way, I know, beat the broadcaster up, I should know, but I don't. Either way, Ryan Howard did not lose anything by coming into the pits, because he's still out in 4th, and that's what he came in. That's where he was to begin with, 4th.
Well,
so he's still got a good, yeah, so he's still in a good spot, you know, like what he was doing before. And Gael came into pits, and Chad Coleman's going to have to come into pits, and Gael came in at lap 80. So that's actually going to move Ryan up one more to third. Still kind of a little unsure on how the Trey Edson thing worked out well. Now, here's another one you got to look into. We were talking about tires earlier. Remember Daniel Falkenham, he pitted on 77, lap 77. Ryan just pitted here on lap 78. Gael pitted on lap 80. Trey Edson pitted on lap 73. He's on older set of tires. So now we're really going to see, because you pretty much, you're not going to be holding back. If you want to win the race, now's the time to win the race. You know, there's going to be no holding back. So now we're going to see if those tires will hold up. And we see a slew of trucks, obviously, on the tail end. And that's due to pretty much just how that caution flew. They were on the lead, you know, a lap down. Trey Edson did benefit, though. I mean, that caution came out timely for Trey, because he could have got caught a lap down. Did not get a caught a lap down. Fortunately, was able to go around.
It could have been worse. It certainly could have been worse, but I think right now he's going to be all right.
I think he will. And if he's looking for a win. He's looking for a win, too, which would seal his deal into the round of 6, obviously. Now, Ryan Howard, yes, he would love a win. But I'm going to tell you what, to come out of here where he's at, because this right now, especially with Justin Fuller now, Justin Fuller's been able to move back up to 11th. Too bad off Tyler Dalton. Remember we was talking about him earlier. He's been fighting and clawing all race long. He's up to 14th right now. So not doing bad. Chad Coleman, who is another driver. Don't count Chad Coleman out. He's just like Ryan Howard. Chad Coleman is one position. He's right behind Ryan Howard. And guess where he's at? He's in 5th. So Chad Coleman's sitting there going, man, I come out here with a good finish too. But Ryan Howard, Chad Coleman, right now, I'm going to tell you what, Chad, boy, this round of 6, I mean, going into it, next week's going to be crazy.
Yes, it certainly is. Next week is going to be insane for these drivers. I cannot wait to see it, but I also can't wait to see this run to the end here. Going to be 17 laps to the finish. That's still plenty of time to make something happen. If there's another caution, that's going to be very tough for these drivers to decide whether or not they want to come down and pit again. I think most of them still have an extra set of tires.
I'm gonna tell you, Gael Brooks and Don Runkle. I'd love to see one of them. As much as I like to see Trey Edson and Ryan Howard, all the guys finish really well and win. I'd love to see one of those guys come up here and pull off a win here, or at least maybe top 3 or something like that, top 5 or so forth. Because those guys just struggled all season long, and just for them to be right where they are. Hey, here we go. But the green flag's about to fly. We're getting set to go back green, and you see Trey gets a good jump, and boy, Ryan goes by him, and Gael just did not get the jump he wanted.
No, he did not, and that's exactly what I'm saying.
And he's going to fall back. Here comes Don Runkle on the inside of Chad Coleman. But I'm going to tell you what, the top 3 guys right now, all chase drivers, as you see Trey Edson bobbing and weaving, trying to break the draft going down, because we've seen it being huge all night long. Ryan Howard's there, and Chad Coleman, boy, I tell you, Ryan Howard pulls this thing off, you know there's going to be a party in the pit road there. Got that Dr. Pepper machine out there flying, but do not count out Chad Coleman. All 3 of these trucks know what is in stake. Going to the round of 6 here for the chase, and you see right there, well, they're all over the back end of Trey Edson. Back here and see what Justin Fuller's doing. Remember, he had that little bit of damage earlier on. He's not out of this thing by far. You still got Nick Silver, too, right there. And, well, Justin, he is pushing for everything he's worth to try to get back up front. And, oh, Joey Katina got popped from behind.
Now caution.
Oh, yeah, and Tyler Dalton was involved in that one, too. And I think that's going to end his night, because that truck is smoking now. Wow. Back on the replay. Just saw Joey Katina just got went a little high right there. I'm not sure who got in the back of him. Sean Casto or the 17 right there, Chad Cole. Could have been Chad Cole. I think, he got high and the truck just kind of slid up on him a little bit. And boom, yeah, just a little touch. And unfortunately, Tyler Dalton just cannot catch a break and just got obliterated. Tyler Dalton, that was running pretty good, hoping he was going to have a good finish here. Not so much. Well, another restart here. Oh boy, it's going to get interesting up front.
If you thought it was interesting before, man, just get ready. This is where it gets crazy.
How are the lengths of the cautions determined? Most of the time it depends on the track length of iRacing. For instance, like at the plate tracks of Talladega, Daytona, usually it's about 4 laps. It used to be around 5 laps, but I think they brought it down to about 4 laps now, I believe it is. Some of them now, I think they brought down to 3 laps on caution, haven't they? They've changed it a little bit out there, Mike, is all I know. Is I'm not sure on some of them now, but it all depends on the track. Like this is what is a 1.5 mile track here, so I'm gonna say it's probably 3 laps caution here. Could be 4. It used to be 5. Used to be 5. Because I know I'd always say 5 or less. Caution came out pretty much over with. But I know it's a little less now. I think they've lowered them down or something.
Yeah, I think they made the cautions a bit quicker here.
And also, too, it also depends on if you got any trucks or cars that are going into pit road or pitting. That also, too, determines extra lap or something like that. So if it's 3 laps, it could end up being 4. Could even be a 5, depending on how many cars or trucks go into the pit and how many have to line up or something like that. So it varies from track to track. It all depends on the situational. For the most part, though, it's either 3 to 4 is in general terms. All done by iRacing. They kind of predict that one a little. What's up, Rick? How you doing? Oh, yeah. Huh. You know what? Do this. How's that? How's that, Rick? Yeah, I was messing around with that one. I don't know why it shuffles around for the dirt. It works. The oval side. Yeah, either way. There. Show you the gap between them at least. Give you an idea of one way or the other. Yeah, I hate that on your end there. Yeah, that works. Yeah, I hate that on y'all's end there, Rick, man. Just bad night, man. It looks like a tough track out here, and it's getting even more wilder here on the finish.
A finish like this.
Sorry about that, folks. Looks like Discord, man, is having little issues out here. Does that from time to time. I'm not getting too far off the race subject or anything. Discord is great for a lot of things, but for their audio codecs, they are not. TeamSpeak still owns that one up. A little technical knowledge for you there. I don't know how Jeff feels about it. You know. But here we go, getting set to go at green. Appreciate everybody tuning in here. Kickass Beef Jerky Truck Series here is round 2 of the chase. Race number 2. We're going into the final race next week of round 2, and then we'll go to the round of 6. 6 drivers down from 8. 2 will get eliminated, and right now Ryan Howard and Chad Coleman are the 2 up front that are Coleman's outside looking in. Ryan Howard's on that last cutoff spot right now. He's looking to come out of this race in a good position. Jeff's still having a few little technical problems over there. Let him see if we can't get it squared away. Pace truck's in. Here we go. Going green flag racing here at the big track here at Texas, big state of Texas. And out front, Trey Edson, Ryan Howard Company, Chad Coleman. Green flag. We're racing here tonight. Tell you what, already right there, you see Gael Brooks. And Gael definitely coming out here with a good run. Him and Don Runkle Jr. up there. Justin Fuller. Earlier on, he is storming back to the front, and him and Kevin Brown's right there, nose to tail again. Remember, them two got into it. No, Daniel Falkenham's going to throw a little block on Brown. And Brown right there, not, I don't know.
Happy with it.
Wow, he ain't happy with it, yeah.
Yeah.
But just go time.
Here's Justin Fuller as well.
Oh, yeah, Justin Fuller's going to fight back up front. Remember, you know, catastrophe back there. Chad Cole's in the mix. Here comes Daniel Falkenham's locked into the next round, but he don't care. He still wants to win this race. Here comes Ryan Howard to the front, though.
Big block by Trey Edson. Not going to happen for Ryan Howard. Edson cuts it down in front of him. Kills the run that Ryan Howard had. Checks up Daniel Falkenham as well. And this chaos behind him is exactly what Trey Edson wanted to see. He wants these guys battling. He wants them side by side, slowing each other down, wearing down their tires for the next 8 laps, because he has got to win this race. That's what he wants more than anything else. We know from last week he's not a fan of Las Vegas. He wants to just win this race and get himself locked in without a care in the world. And
the problem is, remember, he's on an older set of tires than those guys behind him. How long can he hold those angry guys off back there, Daniel Falkenham and company? Because, Howard's going to have to eventually make an aggressive move and go, because he's got Fuller and Daniel right there behind him, and he's going to have to say, look, Trey, I like you, man. But right there might have been a little bit too late, as Daniel Falkenham says, okay, let me get up here and I'm going to show you how it's done.
Falkenham now to the inside, and this is what Edson wants to see. Fuller makes a big move. He's all the way down on the bottom. 3 wide for third place. Fuller on the bottom. Kevin Brown in the middle. They come together. That's the 3rd time those two have touched tonight, and that's the big one at Texas.
And I got a feeling Justin Fuller, he was able to hang on to it, but he pushed up the track on that one there a little bit. I mean, that was just hard racing. I mean, I'm going to say it's hard, but let's go back and watch the replay one time again. We kind of had a feeling that one was coming. We saw it, those two, but Fuller, aggressive move, 3 wide, down there on the middle. The truck just kind of drifted up the track. They made contact right there, and Fuller was able to hang on to it. Who all was involved in that one, though? Don Runkle, Scott Simley. Let's go on Scott Simley here, because he got hit hard on that one. Kind of just was nothing he could do at all. Gonna run a mid-pack right here. This is what happens. You get down here to the bottom, the end of the race. These guys just racing hard. 3 wide action. And then, just Scott Simley. Oh, and Ryan Howard, man. See, now that's... Oh, I hate to see that. Because Ryan Howard minded his own business up here. He was 3 wide. Kevin Brown and Justin Fuller there, and it pretty much took out a chase contender. Ouch.
And one of the advantages of iRacing, one of the blessings and curses of iRacing, is that all the drivers are able to communicate with each other. Yeah. So Ryan Howard gave a big thank you for saying, hey, thanks for settling that earlier dispute you two had by using me to do it. And he was not at all too happy, because that could severely impact his playoff.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. You've really got to get on board here. I mean, I get it. You're going for the lead. I mean, I don't really know what to say on it. You're going for the win here. You got to be aggressive. Sometimes you can be too aggressive. And a 3-wide move here, we've not seen it work all night long. You know, they just came together, and unfortunate right there. So, and you know, unfortunate. Ryan Howard paid the price for it. So. Well, this is going to settle it up here at the end. I'm going to tell you, this is going to be interesting. And, wow. But Trey Edson, the man that came out of that one clean.
And that's exactly what Trey Edson wanted. Now, he knows he can hold these guys off for just a couple laps. And I think he would rather have to do it for only 2 laps than for 8 like he was looking down the barrel up before. I think Trey Edson is going to be the favorite to win this unless Daniel Falkingham can make a really smart move.
And the caution's helping him as far as tires go, you know, right there with Daniel and them. You know, definitely don't count out Justin and all. And just man, you got to steal my heart, man, out there to old Ryan Howard, who had an incredible run. And then just unfortunately right there got caught up. Now, with that, though, you know, he's still not out of this because, remember, Brian Macklin, even worse night. He's sitting in 30th. And Tyler Dalton back in 20th. Ryan Howard back in 15th. Chad Coleman sitting in 14th. Remember, all those trucks are up front. So all those are pretty much the trucks right there. And with Brian Macklin having a hugely bad night, you know, Ryan obviously would have loved to have been up front there even more, but it's still glad it happened maybe here with only a couple laps to go, as opposed to you know, with maybe 50 to go, and it'd been a little bit maybe worse on his end. But nonetheless, you know, Hill could come out of here with a good points night.
It's not over for a lot of those drivers, and the ones that had bad nights tonight, it's not over for them, but it is going to be tough. That is for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right, Rick. I mean, they're a little upset with each other earlier, but I'll say it. Drivers might get mad, but if you're going to settle it on the track, settle it between yourself. Try not to involve anybody else if you can. 3 wide really is putting somebody else in there. Go 2 wide, maybe in the back of the pack or something like that. You know, try to do it safest way you possibly can. You know, the ultimate way is wait till after the race and settle it. But nonetheless, you know, you can't fault them. All competitiveness out here. You've definitely got to have the competitiveness of drivers, and these guys are definitely very competitive. Now, you got 2 of the best up front, Trey Edson and Daniel Falkingham, and if Falkingham's able to maintain right there, and it looks like he's going to be able to. If he can get down low, he's going to get a run on Trey Edson, so it's going to be interesting up front.
It is very interesting up front. Trey Edson now gets the lead, but this will allow Daniel Falkingham to get a big run up. Trey Edson's going to have to block. Defend that inside line. Do not let Daniel get there. Look at how low he's running. He is defending like crazy. Now coming to the line. The white flag will fly. Then, oh boy. And Trey Edson a little bit loose there on exit. Holds on to it. Daniel Falkingham right on his back bumper. Looking low. Not going to have room. There he goes. Now he's to the inside. Trey Edson pushes it hard. Falkingham pushes it harder. Almost goes up into him there. They're side by side down the backstretch.
And for the final time, and right there you saw Trey Edson drove that thing into the turn. They're almost going to go 2 and 3 wide. Turn 3 for the final time. Does Falkingham have enough to run him down? Trey Edson looks like he's going to win this one.
Looks like he's going to win it. Coming to the line, Trey Edson's the winner by just a nose. 0.066 seconds to second place. Chad Cole brings it home third. Gael Brooks with a fantastic run in fourth. And Justin Fuller, come hell or high water, he came out of this race with a top 5.
Awesome run by those guys here tonight. What a fantastic show here they put on to the end. Man, wow. So, Good points night for a lot of guys. It's going to be interesting to see what the points look like. And again, I got to tell these guys, drivers out here, I can't move, y'all. Y'all going to jump up to the waiting room again. As we're watching Trey Edson burn them down out there, and lost Jeff. We'll get these guys up here and get a word with them. But I tell you what a fantastic final finish to this one. Wild race here. Bring up the results real quick and just kind of give you a showdown on who brought it home and who didn't here tonight. Is, man, what a wild one here. Texas Motor Speedway Sim500 Kickass Beef Jerky Truck Series. That was a wild race there, folks. Oh, welcome back, Jeff.
I know. I just went and told those boys to get up to the interview room. And
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if they decide to grace us with their presence. There's Daniel Falkingham. Just need Trey Edson and Chad Cole.
Yeah, we got Daniel up here. We'll bring up the second place man here and let's get a word with him.
Dan, it's Jeff up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Well, I have to ask. That was a crazy last lap. Take us through it there after that green-white checkered restart.
Yeah, I knew the draft was going to be strong, and we were going to be flat out almost around the whole track. So I knew I had to clear Chad Cole in that restart, which we did. And they were just all about setting up for that last lap because I could have tried going to the outside with that big of a run I had. But I knew I just opened up the bottom for Chad Cole to get on the inside of me. So I just stayed on the bottom, and I was going to try to set up my move for turn one because I pulled the same move on Ryan Howard with a few laps to go before that caution. And I tried to pull that same move into one. Trey already knew what I was doing. He tried to come down and block, but I was already there. And so he hit brakes, but I hit the brakes too because I thought I was going to hit him, and I didn't want to turn him. And then I almost got into him again. And I hit the brakes again. I just want to make sure I didn't get into him there because I don't like wrecking people for the win. I'd rather race him fair and square. I don't mind giving a bump here and there, but I don't want to like flat out wreck him for the win. So I just wanted to try my best can to stay off of him. And once I was on his like left rear, I just backed out of it. And hopefully Chad Cole gave me a good bump down the back straightaway, but Trey already had us covered. So I mean, what happened didn't matter to us tonight because we're already locked into the round of 6 with our win last week. So just want to come out, have some fun, start from the back, and race through the field. We did a good job racing through the field like we did. But I really wish that caution didn't come out during the middle of green flags pit stop because I think we would have ran Trey down. We would have passed him on the fresher tires. But oh well, it is what it is. Still came home P2, so all in all, still a fun race.
Absolutely, it was. What are you looking forward to most for next week's race now that you're locked in?
I'll just do the same thing we did tonight. Go have some fun and just have a little bit of fun before the next round starts. I think we go to Vegas next week, so it's going to be really similar to what we saw tonight. Dirty air will be a factor. The draft will be a factor. Going to be almost a lot of pack racing like we saw tonight, but we got more banking in each of the corners. So the racing will probably be a lot more closer, but dirty air will still have a big effect. So I think you'll be in for an interesting race next week as well.
Before you go, anyone you want to thank?
Yes, got to thank First Rate Bay Lobs 207 for all they do, for all their support. Also got to thank Ridge Cajun and Designs for painting this truck for me. Also got to thank all the admins here at Sim500, everyone who works at Sim500 for putting on these leagues. Thanks to everyone who races each and every week. Got to thank Kickass Beef Jerky for sponsoring the series. I know him. I know all those guys over there put a lot of work with this series or do a lot for this series, so can't thank them enough. Also got to thank you guys put on the broadcast. That would be a fun broadcast to go back and watch. Thank everyone at Team Name, Chad Coleman, Josh Parker, and Doy Woods who were racing with us tonight. And also got to thank thank everyone who watched the race tonight as well.
Well, congratulations on a great run here tonight. You brought home second. You're locked into the round of 6, and hopefully we'll be talking to you again next week. You're on a strong run right now.
Yeah, Jeff, I think we're on a pretty good hot streak right now, and hopefully we can keep the momentum going, see if we can get it all the way to the Final Four.
Absolutely. Well, best of luck next week, and we will see you around then.
Thanks, Jeff.
Absolutely, right there. Good run by the man of old Daniel Falkingham. Let's bring up third place man here, Chad Cole. Let's get a word with him.
Yeah, it's Jeff up in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, we got you, Jeff.
Crazy race to the end there. What were your thoughts on that last restart with the green, white, checkered?
I wasn't sure we'd make it back for the white flag, honestly. You know, the green, white checker was in regulation, so if we had a caution there, we would have had another green, white checker that would have been the official green, white checkered. So I was just trying not to die, man. These trucks really bring a lot of draft, and you can't get away from one another. So it's you just ride on top of one another, and it's pretty much like Talladega Daytona out there with these trucks at intermediate track, and not really a big fan of it right now, but we tried to make the most of it tonight, and just happy to come away with a decent finish. Yeah, I don't get to run too many of these Wednesday races, so I'm thankful to be up there running with Trey and Daniel and Fuller and all those guys that are the guys that beat up front every week.
Absolutely, and it was a great run for you out there tonight. You'd had really a great run all throughout the entire race. You started 24th. You worked your way all the way up to a third place finish here tonight. Who do you have to thank for that great run through the field?
Yeah, I got to give a shout out to Kickass Beef Jerky. They're the sponsor for the Wednesday series, so thanks to them. You know, they're I think they're on board for the Thursday series too. So I think they've been a part of 3 different series now and Sim500. So it's really cool to have them on board. And I'm not gonna lie, I just bought about $100 worth of beef jerky from them this past weekend. So maybe, I don't know, that's some good karma for me or something. So maybe we'll have to do some more beef jerky buying this coming weekend. So they have some really good products. Definitely check out their website.
Well, you got that right. It is some really, really good beef jerky, and I think it did work out well for you here. Well, Chad, congratulations on that great run tonight, that hard charge through the field, and hopefully we'll be talking to you again next week. Another big race coming up, another opportunity to win.
All right. Sounds good, Jeff. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
There we go. Second place man, our Chad Cole, coming home here in third place with this guy right here, Trey Etzendo, pulling it all. Trey, you waiting in the booth? Got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, how's it feel to been a round of 6? You kind of locked it in tonight. It was a wild finish to that one.
Always, it's always good to kind of have that locked in security going on to the next round, and go to Kansas and have some fun. But I'm sure it was a hell of a show for you guys to call and for the people that watched. But man, as a driver, I don't like blocking and having to play that defense mode like we're at a plate race. That's just, I don't know what iRacing has done with this draft model on the truck, but man, we just can't get away from each other.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy, and we go to Las Vegas next week, by the way.
Yeah, and it's going to be like
you said Kansas. You said Kansas.
Oh,
For the next round, I think.
Oh, for the next. Okay. Yeah. You're right. I mean, and obviously, now you're locked in. But going into Las Vegas, now you can have a kind of little different mindset because, like you said, almost like tonight, draft will play a factor. Mel's a wild one up there. Was you a little worried about old Daniel Falkenham coming around you?
absolutely with that draft, man. It's like I said, I was running like the IndyCar line. You just have to kind of pin it on the bottom and make them go around the outside if they won't. But I also knew that I'm going to have some type of arc or angle into one to make the corner, so that would easily open up a shot for him to just turn off in there. He had a couple lap newer tires, nothing crazy, but I knew he was going to go for it. That's his style. And he won last week, so he really had nothing to lose. He probably looks at me or Fuller as his biggest threat at the championship. So, I mean, if he drives off in there and I do something stupid and wreck myself, well, then that just, it puts him in a better spot for Phoenix. So, I appreciate him running me clean. He definitely gave me a break there when I turned down in the corner, and then I kind of parked the middle to hold it somewhat down, and he got out of the throttle again when he had another run. So, I'll remember that in the future. He cut me a break there. So I wouldn't say I'd remember that if it came down to like Phoenix in that situation, but somewhere else maybe, yeah. So, but yeah, absolutely. I mean, he had Fuller. I think he had the newest tires of all of us. He was there. Chad Cole, who's not even in the playoff and just out there for wins. I mean, there were several guys at the front that draft and the runs you get. I mean, anyone was a threat, and you just kind of had to kind of double check with who's around you and what they're racing for.
Oh, absolutely, and it definitely was a wild one, like you said. I mean, definitely an exciting style race, but you pulled it off. You're in the round of 6 now. You got anybody you want to thank for this awesome win here tonight?
You guys, thanks to you and Joe and Jeff for putting this on. I'm sure I'll go back and watch it. And Joey and Nick and Sean and Gael and Don and all the admins that put the league together, and all the sponsors, Kickass Beef Jerky and Trans Service, and there's several other ones, but those are the main 2 in the series that I race, so I'll give them a shout out. And thanks Kickass Beef Jerky. It's hopefully get a little bit more publicity from them, as if I ain't gave them enough all year. But yeah, so that's what I feel like I've talked to you guys every week, so that's pretty good. And y'all should enjoy Vegas, because we ran it in the spring, and I mean, it was literally like it's kind of like this, but we're probably 2 or 3 wide instead of single file blocking runs.
Well, absolutely. I tell you what, it was not awesome here, but nonetheless, man, you was able to pull it off here tonight. It's Trey Edson, winner here tonight, Texas Motor Speedway.
Appreciate it, guys.
All right, I tell you what, Jeff, man, what a wild one here to finish this one. As we're going to lead Texas. Got any final words on it?
Well, that race was absolutely crazy. We saw some tempers boil over. We saw a lot of playoff drivers get wrapped up in incidents. We saw people drive their way from the back to the front. You can't ask for anything more out of a race. Honestly speaking, that was phenomenal.
Yeah, no doubt. I tell you what, and you're right. That definitely was a wild one. But hey, we'll leave here tonight, folks. I hope everybody enjoyed that. As next week, last race, the round of 8 here for the Kick-Ass Beef Jerky Truck Series. See you then, and it's going to be a wild one there too. So we go to Las Vegas. Everyone, have a good night.
If I bleed